All right. I'm so bad with silences, sorry. Right. What if I told you that the most powerful leaders are not those who command with an iron fist, but those who lead with kindness, empathy, and vulnerability? This idea, a paradigm shift, challenges conventional notions of leadership and uncovers the transformative power of leading with one's heart on their sleeve. My media and journalism journey, which started professionally at age 16, has led me to become a multimedia executive. Through my experiences, we will delve into how leaders like Jacinda Ardern redefined effective leadership with their compassion. I'm also here to demonstrate the profound impact of vulnerability in leadership. Backed by academic research from Brené Brown, Adam Grant, and leadership guru Mark Murphy, we're going to hear about the science bits in a bit. Before you start wondering whether you've walked into the wrong room, thinking, how do I unlock secrets to my inner superhero? Then fear not. I am here to assure you that real power as a leader lies not in concealing our vulnerabilities, but in embracing them. However, I would like to address the elephant in the room first. A traditional concept in many leadership circles is that a leader must be impervious to doubt or fragility. This has been perpetuated by our culture. Very many cultures, in fact, amplified through media portrayals of steely-eyed, unflappable personas. Just think of the domineering Miranda Priestley from The Devil Wears Prada, a bit sharper than Sean Connery, or the countless unshakable characters in so many films and TV series. This one's one of my favorites. My journey into leadership has been anything but traditional, because something closer to home is this mythical figure called Brother Mars. If you know, you know. Brother Mars, a representation of a traditional leader. Always a man, often a towering figure, and draped in an aura of unassailable power. Power. In the let me just type out your name in Google so that I know what you look like before we meet days. It's catchy, I know. When our only connection was through email, many of those who wondered, who is this Mars that I'm dealing with? They were led to some very curious assumptions. Many envisioned me as a 6'2" Nordic hipster. Ja. And someone who possibly consults regularly with a mate called Thor in Asgard, only to be met with the reality of a slightly over-enthusiastic, vertically challenged Southeast Asian. Hello! Legit, those were the types of faces that I saw when they meet me for the first time. As I mentioned, my journey into leadership has been anything but traditional. As an ethnic woman, hijabi, young, once, now getting on a bit, and a mother to two small children, I have faced lots of barriers. In tech meetings, where I am amongst a sea of men, some colleagues condescendingly question my grasp of technical terms. Did you get that? Did you understand that? Followed by the classic, sorry, are you doing the tea round before we do the action points? Ooh, and can you also get some of those good biscuits? Cheers. And even as early as post-graduation, despite being fully qualified, and despite being invited to a final interview for formality, the hiring manager expressed uncertainties as to how the more senior male executives would be comfortable in having a young female editor join the team. Still hurts. Citing a cultural misfit. And as I worked up the ladder, there were concerns that my decision to wear the hijab could seriously hinder senior leadership prospects. Just because this look did not align with the expected image of a leader. Additionally, the decision to have a family was seen as a potential senior career leadership setback, with doubts being raised about my ability to become an effective and reliant manager. And just like many mothers in the workforce, I constantly felt guilty and I constantly apologized for tending to family matters. Yet these barriers, despite their challenges, they actually became the catalysts for my growth. Because they gifted me with a unique perspective, a lens through which I could empathize with the struggles, the fears, and most of all, the aspirations of those around me. I would also like to address the dissenting voices. There are those who argue that vulnerability compromises authority, that it diminishes the leader's stature. Well, to them, I say this. Vulnerability does not equate to weakness. Please say after me, it's like little karaoke. Vulnerability does not equate to weakness. Yes. Instead, it embodies courage. The courage to admit uncertainty, the courage to ask for help, and the courage to connect authentically. There it is, that word, courage. In a landscape filled with misconceptions of leadership being a display of dominance and power, there is a growing need to realign our understanding of what true leadership entails. In the words of our famous friend, Jennifer Aniston, yes, fans, here comes the science bit. Brené Brown's work highlights that vulnerability is a fundamental aspect of courageous leadership. It creates a culture of trust and openness, where leaders who admit to their mistakes or uncertainties inspire their teams to embrace risks and innovation without the fear of failure or judgment. Adam Grant's work complements this by showing that leaders who seek feedback demonstrate an openness to learning, where leaders who acknowledge their own limitations foster a culture of growth and continuous development. Then there's New York Times best-selling author Mark Murphy. His research shows that leaders that show vulnerability enhances team engagement. So, this is about commitment, because employees feel more connected and loyal to leaders that show their human side, which in turn reduces recruitment costs and training costs that are often associated with a high staff turnover. So, in essence, the science of vulnerability in leadership shifts that focus for a more command and control model to one that values collaboration, connection, and mutual growth. Consider Jacinda Ardern, because I love her. She's not really known for her mean, uncompromising demeanor, but rather for her compassionate and empathetic approach in governance. Now, I would like to use this opportunity for us to celebrate the leaders that have inspired us. So I'm going to all ask you to close your eyes. I'm going to be all Paul McKenna. Close your eyes. And I'm going to give you 10 seconds to recall the name of that person that has shown exceptional leadership qualities. How did this person make you feel? What did they do to help you? And after the 10 seconds, I'm going to ask you to open your eyes, and then after 3, we're going to shout out their first names so that they can get the flowers that they rightly deserve. So your 10 seconds is now starting. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're back in the room. Open your eyes, please. And after 3, get ready. We will shout out their first names. 1, 2, 3. Mars! You guys! It was not a plant. Oh my God, no, I got a bit flustered. My point is, those leaders who left an indelible mark are not the ones who wielded power through fear. They were the ones that listened. They were the ones that lent a supportive hand. They were the ones that empathized through the challenges. And they were the ones who were beside us, celebrating those victories and milestones. So it's time. It's time to redefine leadership into a more nurturing one, where kindness, empathy, and vulnerability are seen as assets and not as a liability. Just imagine boardrooms or team spaces filled with empowered people. Just how awesome would that be, right? And as my time on this lovely red carpet is about to draw to a close, I hope that the answer is clear to the question, can you lead with your heart on your sleeve? The answer is yes. Yes. Yes, you can lead with your heart on your sleeve. And now, I leave you a quote from Simon Sinek. True leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. You have been a brilliant audience. Thank you so much.